So, but that's why I also feel like maybe if Isuran didn't go, maybe there'll be a bit more leverage to be like, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You all just deal with it.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it was very important for him to fly to Qatar and stay in that presidential suite
to think
about this issue.
SimplyGo.
Clear my mind. Only if I stay in the presidential suite, then I can.
While getting a massage and eating caviar.
How to do the transition? Wow, I'm thinking so hard. Difficult. Excuse me, can the champagne top up, please?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
Humor still going strong, man.
Yeah. What a interesting week. Huh?
Yeah.
I thought last week was exciting. This week, quite exciting also.
And same in the same ministry some more.
Yeah.
Right. Same realm.
Stuff going on.
It's the hot seat, they're in.
Yeah. Then plus, the Coldplay concerts happening right now.
That's true. Yesterday was the first day.
Yeah. Photos and everything are coming around.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about it? You are going for the Coldplay concert.
It's
how
Friday,
do you feel about it?
I mean, I'm super excited. I haven't listened to as much of Coldplay that I would or that I did last time. But I will also say that because it's one of 6 shows, right?
Yeah.
Feels a little less special.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but even just as someone who likes Coldplay but is not going for the concert, kind of muted everything.
Also, I thought you were going to shit on me being annoying about that. You also feel it. It feels less special.
I mean, literally, I only was like, oh yeah, it was the Coldplay concert yesterday, that kind of thing when I saw it on the news.
Yeah, because it's also the Coldplay concert today.
Yeah, and it's like,
it's also the Coldplay concert on Friday.
It's almost it feels almost like, hey, asking someone about taking their vaccination like that. Hey, when you go for
I'm going Friday.
Oh yeah. I scheduled for on the third day. You schedule a day.
Yeah.
Oh, very shack after the concert. Oh, it feels like that, that kind of thing. Almost like everyone is going for it kind of feel.
Then I won't be surprised if there are people at the last minute just vacating tickets because they fall sick or something.
Yeah.
So you even get people, hey, you went, it was damn good, is it? Okay, I tried this Friday.
I tried.
Which feels damn. Okay, so I mean, of course, it's allowing more people to enjoy the wonder that is Coldplay.
Yeah.
But
no exclusivity.
No exclusivity.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. So they got 6. Taylor Swift also got 6, right?
More. I can't remember exactly, but quite, yeah.
Then now Bruno Mars is climbing up. I think he had 1, then 2 more, right? Open up.
Adding more.
I tell you, he's got to think also, hey, if they can do 6, because his is at a smaller venue, it's not National Stadium, right?
I don't know. I haven't even been following the whole thing, but yeah.
Yeah, Coldplay. So
enjoy.
I mean, I'll still have fun, but I won't deny that it being one of 6 shows, right, makes it a bit less special.
I mean, you do sound like you're just trying to convince yourself. I'll still have fun,
I mean, I'll have fun. I'll definitely have fun. They came years ago. I loved it. And this one it will be fun. Of course, now also I'm thinking of all the crowds, and I'm like, do I really want? But Coldplay is great. I'm just saying that internally, I feel less special.
And pro tip, just pre-game before you.
Oh yeah. Pre-game definitely going to be part of it. Pre-game, in-game, post-game, and all. So that will definitely help.
Okay.
But coming from a sober point of view, it feels one of 6 shows.
Correct.
It's like I mean, you're not going, right?
I'm not.
How come?
I think I talked about it before, where it's just. You get to a certain point where okay, you had a great memory of attending a Coldplay concert in your life, and you don't want to stain it by going when you're older, when you enjoyed standing around being sweaty and hot and not being able to go toilet and all that, and not knowing half the songs since the last time you went, I don't want to ruin the memory. It's a very nice, beautiful relationship in the past. It was good. You'd never have to revisit it again,
Huh, really?
Yeah.
But so you will never see someone in concert twice?
No, it depends. If I've been keeping up with the new stuff they've been coming out.
Yeah.
But Coldplay had they collab with BTS and things. Do you know that song that they did with BTS? You know lyrics and you sing along and everything.
I mean,
yeah, that tells you much. BTS, K-pop, made a lot of money together. Yeah, exactly my point. Yeah. I was past that phase already.
So that means it's not so much that you went once, you had a great experience and you don't want to taint it. It's just you haven't been keeping up. Because like if it's the former, then it feels like wow. But then aren't you like limiting yourself from experiencing something that could be great?
But then again, they will play all the old songs that I knew before again.
Yeah.
But I had such a great experience the last time, and I know from past experience with National Stadium, like going to concerts at the National Stadium, all that. They just doesn't feel the same lah.
But the last time you went National Stadium?
No. The last time I watched Coldplay was overseas. Yeah.
Oh.
A much smaller venue, like, you know, when Chris Martin was swinging that ball during Fix You, right, the climatic part. The ball literally was like, I don't know, it's a very small radius lah, basically. This one, the ball, I think, will
fucking huge.
It will go around the whole football field, everything. Yeah. If you're lucky, if you're within like 20 meters.
No, but there are a lot more balls.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Just like a lot more concerts, a lot more balls. So not special. Where's my one ball? One ball.
Mono ball.
Mono ball.
The mono ball.
You have a lot of balls.
A lot of balls.
You might even touch one because...
No, because I went the last time and I think I may have touched the ball.
Oh, yeah. One of the many balls.
One of the many balls.
I touched one ball. Yeah. I'm a one ball man.
So maybe it's because I never experienced the mono ball Chris concert. A Coldplay concert. Mine started off many balls. So now I'm going to another concert. There'll probably be many balls again.
Yeah. But Coldplay. But aside from that, there's also a lot of serious things happening that we need to talk about. Yeah. But before all that, what do we have to tell people?
That if you're new to the podcast or you've been listening for a while, it'd be great if you could tell at least one other person who may not have heard of us. You subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify or any podcast platforms, turn on notifications so you know whenever a new podcast drops. And also, all the regular social media where we are posting short clips and getting some interesting comments. What else?
Email us at contact@ministryofunny.com if you want to work with us.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But jumping into the first big topic. Yeah. What is this topic?
First big topic. I remember it came out on Tuesday and we were like, shit, if only this came out on Monday for our first episode. So this news dropped... Actually, no.
It came out Monday.
It came out Monday.
After we recorded.
That is true. And it was the big announcement that the whole plan to replace the older ticketing system with SimplyGo by LTA was shelved. And that commuters no longer need to switch to SimplyGo by June 2024.
Okay. So can we just take a time out to just like get it out of our systems? All the SimplyGo puns that everyone is joking about. Because I think there's so many, we just need to scratch the itch and never go back to them.
Yeah,
again.
Which one is...
No go for SimplyGo.
SimplyGo stun.
Yeah. Simply go fuck yourself. What else?
Iswaran had to simply go.
Yeah. Simply no more go or something like that. Yeah. Any more?
No, I think
we got them all the way, right? Yeah. Because I feel like, wow, those keep coming up. I'm like, enough, guys, enough. We get it.
I think the first few times it was funny. Now it's I haven't seen any puns today.
But yeah,
SimplyGo. It's just actually the more you dig into it, the more interesting it is, because basically, like all the titles of the articles, or a lot of them were things like let's see, government spending 40 million for hardware replacement, system maintenance to extend ticketing system, said by LTA. So a big thing is there, there will be 40 million Singapore dollars allocated to support the continuous use of EasyLink and Nets Flash Pay cards alongside SimplyGo. So that was like, 40 million. And the news that it will be phased out came in January 9th, I think. So within the span of like 2 weeks, it's been reversed.
Yeah. On the back of, remember we talked about Bus 167 being reinstated. Service. So the second U-turn by LTA and all that.
Yeah. Oh, another meme I heard is like, of course LTA is familiar with U-turns, right?
Yeah. Okay. Enough.
King of U-turns.
Okay.
But what? Okay, so we talked about SimplyGo last week, right? Did it ever occur to you that this might be a possibility, or in your mind I was like, confirm this is no choice, we just have to listen? I
think towards the end of last week, apparently people who tried to go and upgrade their EasyLink cards or something were turned away, saying that they were suspending the upgrading or changing of cards or something. So there was a bit of buzz on the ground about, is something going to happen? I think Bertha Hansen was posting about it and things like that. People have been posting about it.
So you already had that seed of that thought in your mind.
Yeah. But I think the swiftness of everything kind of surprised me, because literally in the last 24 hours, I think Chee Hong Tat was
sworn
in by PM Lee and congratulated by PM Lee on taking over the Ministry of Transport portfolio from Iswaran.
Go ahead, shake hands with Tharman and all.
Yeah. So the photo just fresh off the press, and then boom, first thing that he had to announce via Facebook as a Facebook post or so.
Yeah.
Not even a press conference or whatever. Yeah.
So I think like when we recorded last week, for me it was like, this will definitely not happen. Like this reversal thing.
You thought there was zero chance, is it?
I thought, so in this case, I am the one, I'm like, no, we've seen this time and again, something's decided.
Yeah.
The moment there's cost savings, it's going to be very hard to U-turn. You know? But I think the changing thing, right, was the whole Iswaran thing and Chee Hong Tat taking over.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Why do you think that was the...
I mean, so this one, purely speculation. Purely speculation. You have someone coming in to take over a ministry that has been a few taints, right, in the past few weeks with Iswaran, with the 167, and generally a lot of like negative air. So if you were coming on board and you want to generally bring people like, okay, I listen to you.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you would do? It's something like this. The only thing that surprises me is like 40 million is not a small number.
Sure. Yep.
Right? Even for the bus 167, they made a big thing about how it was 2 or 3 million can be saved.
Yeah.
And that justified it.
Yeah.
But so that is just me speculating. There has a new guy coming in, right? He was like, first meeting, you know what? All the shit that was done that I couldn't say no to, now I'm saying no.
Yeah. Actually, that's true. That means it's like sort of putting your foot down, and this is the path that I'm setting as the transport minister.
I listen to the people.
Yeah.
You know, like all the people, the senior citizens, the pioneer generation, we listen to you. Even if it costs more, our priority is you. Then boom.
But to me, I can see that as a potential, like what you say, speculating that this is a power move.
The power move.
But I think, to me, if just looking at it from a purely administrative standpoint, the straw that seems to have broken a camel's back was the fact that the SimplyGo app like crashed or slowed down, and they were having a lot of difficulties upgrading people's cards and everything because of that. Because that to me kind of spelt out that the whole implementation was not thought through. If you want evidence that it was not well planned or thought through, that is the evidence. The implementation was from day one already was very bad already.
Because that's something you can almost prepare for.
Yeah, you should be preparing for. You should, like, if you're transitioning a whole system within 6 months, the first day one of the transition should be like smooth already. Like, maybe if you tell me like, okay, everyone slow down a little bit, but literally I think the thing was like not working well, right? It was slowing down, and the app was slowing down and crashing and things like that. So that tells me something's not smoothly planned out.
But even then, like, I mean, there have been times in the past, especially LTA, like, remember when there were so many MRT breakdowns?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there was mounting anger towards like LTA and like the Ministry of Transport and all.
Yeah.
I don't know whether MRT falls under LTA. Is that the Ministry of Transport?
The maintenance and everything.
Yeah, and it felt like they were just weathering the storm, right? And to their credit, I mean, now breakdowns is less top of mind, Yeah. Last time I remember it was late. I was like, of course, MRT will be late.
That was the most convenient excuse last time.
Yeah, exactly.
It was that. Then after a few years later, it was like the Grab app has some issues.
Oh, yeah,
the drivers have issues. Yeah.
No, I legitimately remember like during that time breakdown, when someone messages you, oh, MRT breakdown, you almost, okay, I understand.
Happens,
okay, free pass.
Yeah.
But then they came through it, They changed the minister. So this one, it felt like they were just going to weather the storm. Because, like, I mean, you also get like commercial apps or non-government apps that have influx and they go down. But it's almost like it's like, you know what Shanmugam said on our podcast with FOFMA, right? Sure, there is short-term uproar, backlash and all. But in the long term, right, that's what matters. When people look back, this was like declared like fake news. And it's almost putting the short term aside. So this one felt like it was going to be that.
Just surprised, right?
Yeah, so surprised. Because again, like, I mean, they also like quite pegro like, oh, okay, can, but 40 million.
Yeah.
40 million is going to be used to upgrade the hardware and the software to maintain this in parallel.
But that's where, commentators like Bertha Hansen were pointing out that why would you announce such an important decision on Facebook? Because why are you trotting out this 40 million number and not really giving more details about it? Like, do you mean that you have to spend an additional 40 million, like that, are you talking about that you would have saved 40 million from, sunsetting the EasyLink, the old EasyLink system, right? So it just means that, you can't save 40 million versus you're spending additional 40 million.
Oh.
You can say that's the two sides of the same coin, but you got to remember implementing a new system like SimplyGo also would cost money, right? So if you're shelving the implementation, how much do you save on shelving the implementation, right?
Oh, yeah.
So of course, maybe the numbers have already been worked out, and all in all, net is 40 million extra that you have to spend, or 40 million not saved. But those details would have been helpful. Similar to what we talked about Bus 167, right? Saying that they saved 2 million, whatever the number was. But the question is, but how much would you have had to spend to subsidize the extra train rides that would have compensated for the bus service going down, right? So again, the use of numbers, like what you said, a bit of a pagro move, but without more details about how long this 40 million is spent and why is it saved or is it spent or what. Kind of a pointless number, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I hope there are more questions about that, because already earlier this week there were 4 parliamentary questions fielded for next week's like the parliament sitting in February, relating to SimplyGo.
Yeah.
A lot of it was like, okay, what is the rationale? How many cases of overcharging have there been? So it was going to be discussed in Parliament.
Yeah.
I assume this would also be discussed in Parliament, like what is the breakdown? Because when you first started just now, I was like, no, but what's the difference? Spending versus saving. But I get what you mean, the nuance.
Yeah.
It's like at home, right? If I tell my wife, okay, I'm going to spend like $500 to I don't know, like get upgrade my bicycle or something, or going to save $500 to do this. Very different meaning.
Very different, yeah.
Very different, very different consequences, circumstances and all.
It's like the e-commerce platforms are, right? Save this, save that, right? If you just don't buy anything, you save
the best way to save. 100% savings. Don't buy.
Payday sale, save this. GST rising, save this. I'm like, then just don't buy it.
Don't buy it. Exactly. Don't buy it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was also surprised that in these articles, there were certain things that came out that I don't remember reading last week. Basically, they said that in 2021, there was a trial of the account-based ticketing cards, right? Which is what the SimplyGo thing, with 1,000 concession card holders. And there was feedback that the group which had the most concerns were seniors who were worried about the absence of fair and balanced display at the station gates. So there was really that feedback.
Yeah.
I don't recall reading it last week. I might be wrong, but it feels like, okay, so then it's maybe one of those things that, like any focus group, right? I mean, we do focus group for our TV shows also. I'm not saying we have to do, we do it. And sometimes you get some feedback where you're like, okay, it's a vocal minority. But for the majority, it works. But in this case, it feels like somewhere along the lines, maybe they thought, okay, this is a small problem that will be solved. So that was interesting. And then that's also another thing that shows, okay, where then your trial process must be more robust.
Yeah.
Right.
And the question is, how small is a small minority, right? I would say maybe about 2/3 of commuters have moved on to use SimplyGo, whether it's a card-based or account-based, right?
Yeah.
And I think the differentiation is card-based, meaning that the value is stored in the card. Account-based means the value is stored in the cloud, then you access through your credit card or whatever, right? So I think about 2/3 have already transitioned to SimplyGo, either on account or card-based, right? Whereas 1/3 is still using the EasyLink card-based.
When you say account or card-based, SimplyGo, it's all account-based.
No, it's both. You can still have a... Oh, yeah, it is account-based. But you can still, whether you use your card or you use your credit card. Or use a special SimplyGo card.
But all account-based.
Account-based, account-based.
Yeah.
So I think, 1/3 of people still seem to want to use the old card-based system, like EasyLink system. It's a minority, yes, but is it a small minority?
Yeah.
1 in 3. 1 in 3 people still want that system. So that's why I'm like, it also tells us a little bit about all of us, right, as a population. Like if 2/3 of people want something or not say want something, but 2/3 of people have already moved on to using something, and 1/3 still wants to hold on to the old system.
Yeah.
Is it right to say that majority of users already have moved on to the system, right?
Yeah,
2/3. Is that a convincing enough majority, do you think?
I think depends, like the next level between it is like, okay, what is the demographic of the wanted? Because in this case, let's say 2/3 of, let's say assuming the whole pool is technologically savvy people, 2/3 have moved on, 1/3 haven't. You can assume that, okay, if you mandate everybody move on, the 1/3 will jump on board.
Correct.
But in this case, the 1/3 is, I'm assuming, likely to be more elderly people, more less tech savvy people.
Yeah.
So in some way, like, even though they might think, oh, it's a good idea, the actual practical application is very different. Because imagine if suddenly they say all hawker centers, right, you cannot pay with cash.
Yeah, exactly.
I would assume more people pay with pay. Actually, do you think more people pay with pay now or cash for hawker centers at this point?
I think still more cash.
Or more cash.
Yeah, than the pay now. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
From just anecdotally, just looking at it.
Just looking. But yeah, it's one of those things like. But for you, 2/3 is enough. I mean, that's our election.
Yeah. No. To me, I think one thing that also was in his Facebook post, right? He pointed out that even in other cities like London and Hong Kong, this account-based system, right? Like SimplyGo, the cards do not display fare deductions, unlike the card-based system, right? So he's saying that you look at other country, also same as Singapore. It's a technical thing, you can't help it, but that points out. I mean, his sentence literally points out that there's still two systems. These countries still use two systems, account-based and card-based. But in Singapore, what they were advocating for was removing the card-based system entirely. So there's no choice for you. And I think that maybe is one bugbear, one problem, right? That we are not offering more choices for people. We are taking away their choices. Whereas in these countries, they have the account-based system, but they still leave the card-based system there.
Yeah.
So that to me, this talk about majority and minority also kind of bleeds into that. Like why should we remove a choice for the 1/3 of people, right?
Yeah.
And force them to move on to another system when they're so used to the older system. Right? That's maybe the bigger thing. Like, why change for the sake of change?
Yeah.
As opposed to you say you want to save the money and everything, but if there's a 1/3 of the population still using the system, is there grounds to just take it away entirely?
Because especially also now, we keep hearing a lot of things, forward Singapore, we're all go in this together.
Yeah.
Like, not say no man left behind, but along those ways. Because, like we've already heard the analogy of two Singapores.
Yeah.
Where we can see sometimes Singapore feels like this transactional place where people can't make their money and then fuck off. So if they go ahead with this 2/3 majority thing, it reinforces that.
Correct.
And I think it's also the perspective. Is it they're spending an extra 40 million to take care of this, or like what you said, it's just a cost of transport in a country like Singapore.
Yeah.
Right. And it shouldn't be seen as an added cost.
Yeah.
It's like, not say you're buying a 56-inch TV when you actually can do with a 32-inch. It's for a TV.
Yeah.
So that was also one way to think about it. And then I read this one article, kudos to Today, talking about why contactless card payments haven't taken off in Singapore as they have elsewhere. So London and Hong Kong, they are the dual. But Japan, I think, is the one that they have one card that you can pay with your phone, can show the display, can use for motoring, and it's like a one card solution for all. And actually, the backstory is quite interesting. Do you know any idea of that?
No, please.
So the backstory, right? Basically, back then, in 2002 to 2009, Singapore's EasyLink cards used the Sony Felica technology, which is the chip that is done by Sony, right? And it was a chip embedded in the cards. The Octopus cards in Hong Kong uses the same technology, so it worked like a charm, But along the way, I think Singapore and the companies that was manufacturing those cards, like Nets, they wanted to get into the contactless card game.
Sure.
So the thing about these two cards, they were not interchangeable, and they decided to develop the CPAS, which was for Singapore only. And that's where there was a fork in the road, because CPAS is only available for Singapore, but it Singapore, like in Japan, right? The Felica thing, even though it was local, there was a big enough market that they could convince even Apple to put it in their iPhones. So Japan, you can use your phone, you can use the account-based cards, you can use the store card, all one system.
Yeah.
In Singapore, it's almost once we did that fork in the road, right?
Yeah.
We are not a big enough market to convince the hardware manufacturers to include a CPAS chip. So then we have to go to the more generic, broad thing that can't do both.
Correct.
It's only in countries like Japan where you have one chip that can do everything and you have volume to convince the hardware makers. Then I was like, oh shit. So I mean, the whole thing is like, back then with that fork in the road, we kind of set this up a problem for ourselves. Which I'm guessing in London, Hong Kong may be the same issue also.
I don't know, but I just anecdotally, some people who went to Hong Kong recently were just waxing lyrical about the octopus card. Like literally, like, you know how our phones, when you want to SimplyGo, you still have to like double tap your power button, scan your face, and then tap, right? Over there, it's like you don't have to do it, you know. You just hold your phone there. It's so the chip, I think, is embedded within the phone as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who has knowledge of the octopus card in Hong Kong, but they just, because of this SimplyGo fiasco, they were this group of people especially keenly looking at how the octopus cards work. And they said it's amazing because you can really pay for everything with octopus card.
So like motoring, 7-Eleven.
Everything, yeah. So it's just topping up, everything is just so easy.
You can see the value also.
I think you can see the value. And then you use your credit card and all that to top up the thing. And then like with certain cards, there's no fees and things like that. So it's just so convenient even for Singaporeans going to Hong Kong.
Oh.
Whereas like over here we are like, trying to figure out what card can work for what, and I'm worried about my EZ-Link for the car and things like that. Yeah. So it's just like it's not a very pretty implementation.
So you never tell your friends, happy you go Hong Kong?
Of course. Yeah.
You be that person, you be that person.
But speaking of that person, hasn't this whole EZ-Link thing also kind of made you question about who are the people who need to, check the balances, how much their transport budget is all the time. They have to be, watching so carefully about not being overcharged. Doesn't that also tell you something about, like what you mentioned, to Singapore's population? So, because I would say a lot of people, most people that you see using their cards or their phones on SimplyGo, they're not like, and then they open up the app to check out, right? But then there are people who can be quite they want to check the balance, right? Yeah. Doesn't it tell you something about Singapore also? Like, is there two Singapores? So one side that doesn't need to care about what their transport budget is and things like that. But then there are those people who are really watching every cent that's going out of their wallets.
Yeah, I think that there are those two different types of people. But I think the reason why people watch might be a mix of factors. One is, they really want to be cognizant of how much you're spending on transport. I think the other one is habit, man. It's almost like when you don't know, right, then there's uncertainty.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine older people with who are comfortable enough to not have to worry about spending $2 versus $3 a day on transport. You still want to check because you don't know something that you used to know.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that to me doesn't stand out as something that shows, there are two Singapores. It's more like it's a habitual thing.
Yeah, I would say even, like don't say old people, like even myself and, pumping petrol and all that, right? You generally, when you pump petrol, you generally know how much money you pump. And generally, you know how much you drive around and why, if you took a long trip to go to Mandai or something like that, then naturally you will run out of gas faster, right? But it helps me to also understand, okay, this is how much I'm spending on petrol and why sometimes I should choose to, take the public transport instead of driving my car and all that, right?
Oh yeah, true.
By habit, it helps me to. It reminds me that maybe I shouldn't drive this trip if I can avoid it. Like that,
even buying groceries.
Yeah.
Let's say if I'm buying physical, you put in a basket and all. I will always just do a side eye and look at the things that are being checked. Because sometimes, they're like, you get 3 lemons for this, 6 lemons for 50% off. You go there, you always in your mind, wait, this fucking 6 lemons going to get 50% off.
And you will only have bought it if there was the offer. Yeah. Correct. So you must know. Yeah.
You must know. Then sometimes when you don't see it, you're like, excuse me, sorry, this one. Then they're like, yes, sir, wait. Then they press one button, then it comes off. Then okay.
In their mind, they're like, wow, $1 also makes much noise.
But it is a thing, like, I think it's the expectation and the reality. Once there's a mismatch, right? Tricky. And also their response saying, it's technically possible, but it'll take time.
No, but now Cheong Tat said it's technically not possible. And that's one thing. He said, unfortunately, there's currently no technical
Correct.
solution to the
To
slow.
see immediately.
See immediately.
To see immediately.
Correct.
But he did also say, he told LTA, go and look for a solution.
Oh, is it?
Power move, bro.
Power move. Oh,
Power move, man. Chi Hong Tat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chi Hong Tat, man.
Yeah. Hong Tat.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's interesting, like if this is his starting, I'm like, hey, shit. Okay, this is I don't know how much of a role he had to play in it. I'm guessing like for him to be second in command up to last week, probably had some say lah.
Yeah.
So,
and probably had to distance himself from anything that Iswaran set in place lah, right?
Yeah. So there's pre Iswaran SimplyGo nightmare, post Iswaran is like, yo man, use whatever card you want, man.
Yeah. I'll add one more layer to that lah. The fact that Iswaran said, I am innocent. I think even more so. Please distance myself from this.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because I mean, literally, like when Ong Kok Song was on last year, we asked him one question, right? You say you want to keep the incumbent in balance. In your previous role at GSE, what was an example of you standing up for something you believe in? And he reviewed quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
So this one, Chi Hong Tat, like end of week 1 already, what's an example of you standing up? You're like, bro.
I stood up 17 hours after Lee Hsien Loong. I shook Lee Hsien Loong.
Yeah,
I stood up.
I went on my Facebook and typed out my own announcement.
Yeah.
Then fucking mic drop.
With the real Hong Tat, please stand up.
Yeah, the real Hong Tat. The real Hong Tat. So, I mean, interesting to see how this plays out. I'm sure some people who already switched the card, then now they can do free switch back, right? They'll be like, fuck lah, this one. Make up your damn mind, man. Overall, right, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that they U-turn? Because some people, especially I saw on South China Morning Post saying, oh, will this affect the elections? Will this be something for the opposition to latch on to? I don't know. Like, I think in general, I think it's a good thing. But to me, it also shows, okay, like, they really like never plan. But for you?
I think it's good. Yeah.
It's good.
Because if it also exposes that you never planned properly, then it will make sure that the next time you try to pull something like that people will, at least there's a precedent, right? To reference, hey, are you sure you did better than the SimplyGo transition? Do you check it properly? Even internally for their own processes. Check properly, do it properly.
And no one can really tell them, you all never listen to people.
Yeah.
If there's one ministry like with 167 now, they listen.
Yeah.
So, but that's why I also feel like maybe if Iswaran didn't go, maybe there'll be a bit more leverage to be like, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You all just deal with it.
Yeah.
So I think that was a seismic crack.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it was very important for him to fly to Qatar and stay in that presidential suite to think about this issue.
SimplyGo.
Clear my mind. Only if I stay in the presidential suite, then I can.
While getting a massage and eating caviar. He's like, okay, wait, SimplyGo. Is it good?
How to do the transition? Wow, I'm thinking so hard. Difficult. Excuse me, can the champagne top up, please?
No, I need to relax. I need to go for a Curious Dog of Incident on the Dog tonight. Can you get me 2 tickets? Can. I go there, relax.
That was how it was thought through.
Or maybe that's part of his defense. Like, God, it's like, the SimplyGo transition. That was my last thing before I left. I sent an email to Hong Tat. I'm like, this is my last thing. I'm going to step down tomorrow. Make it happen.
Or he could argue like, if I was there, the transition wouldn't have been that kind of thing. But,
yeah, man. Oh, yeah, because he's been away for 6 months.
Yes, since July. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually. So what I was saying about Chi Hong Tat's power move and all, technically, Iswaran hasn't been there for 6 months.
Yeah, but at the same time, he didn't have the full authority. He was acting minister and all that, right? Maybe he just had to continue with whatever was already on track already, right? Yeah. First power move is, now I got the title. Let me do this.
Power move. Yeah. Solid, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
But yeah, speaking of power moves, there are Singaporean brands and companies that have also moved overseas and created buzz also, right? And this one just got a lot of buzz recently because someone did a video about it. What is this Singaporean brand?
Yeah, it's old Chang Kee, man. And it was featured in a video by a pretty big content creator in Singapore, Chef Bob.
Yeah.
Who I think he's definitely a chef. I don't know whether he owns his own restaurant or something, but he's quite prolific on social media, man. He has like 270,000 plus followers on TikTok.
Wow.
So he posted this video of him in Trafalgar Square in London, just going to the old Chang Kee branch in Trafalgar Square.
Is that how you pronounce it? Trafalgar?
Then how?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Trafalgar.
Trafalgar.
I don't know.
Trafalgar.
Yeah.
How do I say it?
Trafalgar. Yeah.
Trafalgar
Square. I thought.
Oh, it's Trafalgar.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's not Trafalgar.
Yeah.
It's Trafalgar.
Okay.
Trafalgar. A square in London, okay? Terence, he's in London.
Your mind's still in Doha thinking of the truffle,
I need to
caviar.
go for Harry Potter play or Kinky Cats, Kinky Boots.
Yeah.
So he had a video where he walked into the old Chang Kee branch there and bought a sardine curry puff. And he cost him 4.25 pounds, which translates to about 7 Singapore dollars. And he was saying how, especially when you're abroad in cold weather, a sardine curry puff just hits the spot. The only thing I was missing was teh tarik, which he couldn't get there.
Correct.
So a lot of people online were saying, $7 for curry puff.
Sardine puff, yeah.
For sardine puff. How is that possible? So then it caused some discussion online.
Yeah.
But what made you wanna talk about this?
I think interesting, right? Because recently all the price hikes for whatever reasons, right? Old Chang Kee was, I think, got quite a bit of flack for the fact that their curry puffs went up to $2, right? I think you and I, when we walked past Old Chang Kee one day, and then I remarked that it was so expensive.
Yeah.
And I think like the lady behind the counter was like a bit taken aback by the comment, right?
Yeah, because you said it, you were in front of me, you pointed and you said you walked off, and then the lady didn't look at me. Then I was like, I tried to convey through my eyes, sorry for my friend for being so rude, but I couldn't say anything. So
what was rude? What was rude about a comment that I just said, oh, it's so expensive?
I don't know, the way you did it, you in your sachet, you're like, oh, so expensive. Then you just walked off.
I didn't even say I was going to buy. I was just looking at it. Oh, so expensive. That's all.
But still, like, you imagine, like, you set up your own thing and maybe you're not in charge of the pricing. And Old Chang Kee stuff always quite nice, right?
I mean, generally older senior citizens.
Quite nice. Then you just pointed. I look at it. Then she showed me. She sent me a look, Terence. There was like, oh, it's not my fault. Okay, it's not my fault, and I had to tell her through my eyes. Don't worry. He's just, he's hungry. He's a hungry man. As you just sashay it off, lah.
Yeah, then went to buy something else.
So he bought a pau or something.
Yeah. But so that the price of Old Chang Kee curry puffs has been on people's minds. And now someone is overseas telling us, hey, Old Chang Kee is $7 here,
$7.25 actually.
Are yours in Singapore? In some ways, like, it makes people think, hey, are you complaining too much about the price of Old Chang Kee in Singapore versus London, right?
But I mean, some people did say that, wow, it's insane. How can it be $7? Which I found like, but why would it? I mean, okay, so there's one thing when a local brand goes abroad, they can mark it up, right? But then at the same time, I'm guessing the rent there is also like not the cheapest.
Yeah.
Trafalgar Square is quite a well-known spot, right?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, you look at the packaging also, like the Old Chang Kee packet there was a lot nicer than the Old Chang Kee packet in Singapore, right? So, so when people complaining, I don't know, man. Like what's your experience eating Singaporean food abroad?
It's always expensive because procuring the ingredients is tough, man. Like, even ourselves as students, when we were studying in the US and all, I remember trying to make like carrot cake. I remember trying to make like satay even. And just procuring all the ingredients that you need, even like from big supermarkets in Chinatown. Not easy, man. Like, you can't get the exact flavor or the exact texture that you want for each of these things. So not to say that Old Chang Kee has the same problem as like a 22-year-old student in or whatever, right? But the truth is that these ingredients will probably cost more to procure and get there. And to achieve the same texture and everything as Old Chang Kee you get in Singapore.
Yeah. And I mean, like what you mentioned just now about, like, are we complaining too much? Because we regularly see reports saying that Singapore is damn expensive, right?
Yeah.
And the one thing that always depresses it is like hawker center food. And I mean, roadside snacks in Singapore, like Old Chang Kee, is still cheaper anecdotally compared to other first world cities, right? Like when you go to London, if you want to get a snack for £2, right?
Yeah.
What can you get?
A candy, maybe.
A candy bar or something. So in this case, But yeah, like I also think that is also not the best thing to take away, that London is so much more expensive than Singapore.
Yeah.
Because he didn't compare like the price of beer or something,
Mm.
right? So just felt like, I mean, if you didn't see the article, how much do you think Old Chang Kee would have costed in London?
Thereabouts. I would have imagined it being somewhere in that range.
Thereabouts.
Because it's like when all the pastries and all that are being sold here in Singapore, people now, Singaporeans, all were paying like $7, $8
croissant, right?
for a croissant or some what's more
Cedric Goulet or something.
Yeah, and all that kind of thing. People queuing up for it. Yeah. The croffles and stuff like that. I don't even, all the combinations are all out there, all the hybrids and all that, right? We're paying like top dollar for these things. So why is it when a Singaporean pastry goes overseas, then people expect it to be like $2 or something, you know?
Yeah.
It should also be seen as exotic and very unique, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's totally, when you're in London, that's what you should be paying for Singapore food.
Yeah. And in fact, like even Chef Bob alluded to it at the end. He said, he's very proud to see Old Chang Kee there. Being able to sell it for the price that is comparable to other, like fancy pastries there and all.
Yeah.
And to see people buying it.
Yeah,
I think it's so like, awesome, Old Chang Kee. Like fucking London. And like what you said, if you go to France, you get the croissants, you probably can get it for like €1.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know, €1.
Probably.
Certain parts maybe can get €1, right? And then you come to Singapore, you pay like, the cheapest croissant maybe is $2+ lah.
Yeah, I think it's like $4 or $5 now, most places.
Most places, unless you go to like neighborhood bakery or something.
Yeah, correct.
But so this one, Old Chang Kee curry puff, well done, man.
Yeah, plus the fact that with the climate in London, like now it's probably really cold.
Oh yeah.
Wow, you eat all these things.
Fucking shock, man.
And that's something we never get to experience because in Singapore it's always hot. Even you blast yourself with aircon, somewhere you're sweating somewhere, right?
In fact, you want to blow the curry puff to cool it down a bit. Like, fuck, so hot.
Exactly.
Because you look at the Old Chang Kee outlet, it actually is not the same as a Singapore outlet. No? Singapore outlet, it's just like sticking out of the wall.
Yeah.
This one, it looks damn good from outside. It's yellow. It's you walk in.
Yeah.
I wish they have teh tarik also, but sardine puff, spicy mala chicken puff. Yeah. So like I know last time when I was studying, there were a few restaurants that serve Malaysian and Singaporean food. Yeah, same thing. A chicken rice is damn expensive.
Yeah.
It was not bad.
Yeah.
But it was expensive lah.
Yeah.
Then you get a nice roti prata abroad. Wow, solid.
And that feeling of connection to home via your taste buds is priceless lah. When you're overseas, when you're missing home or missing your friends and all that.
Yeah, you just get some this roti prata all shook, man.
Yeah, reminds me of when I tried to bring like a couple of like American girls to like the Malaysian restaurant last time.
Dates.
Not dates like I think it was a group together lah. And I remember like trying to get them to eat chicken rice and all that, and comment was like, oh, this is interesting. The chicken is cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
Skin is textures are clammy and everything.
Yeah.
Everything is interesting because it was just so strange for them.
Yeah.
Then that's when I felt like, oh, it's cool. The food that we eat actually is a lot more exotic than we make it out to be.
Yeah, it is. And I'm sure people abroad who are listening, they also will probably relate, understanding that Singapore food actually is damn good.
Yeah.
And you cannot replace it anywhere in the world.
Yeah. I would say that rather than teh tarik, maybe in London it's part of the experience that you should have it with a pint of beer. Like spicy sardine,
usually,
then after that, you drink a beer, cold pint, shook, right?
Yeah.
And then it will probably cost a lot less than the beer in Singapore.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. So your beer sardine puff combination will be the same both.
Yeah, same as the teh tarik.
Same as teh tarik and curry puff in Singapore. Yeah, actually, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, like interesting lah. Wow, like I mean, kudos to Old Chang Kee, man. I didn't even know they were in London.
So what is the one like comfort food that you ate while overseas from Singapore that you feel would be worth like paying inflated prices for?
Chicken rice and prata.
Chicken rice and prata. Why so specifically these two? And so sure.
I mean, chicken rice is one of those foods that I've been eating since young.
Okay.
And prata, in fact, I eat chicken rice more often than prata. But prata is just on its own, it's so awesome.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, then you dip it and like, then for you? Carrot cake?
No, I think Hokkien Mee.
Hokkien Mee.
Yeah. I remember when I was working on the west coast of the US and all, There was one Singaporean restaurant like near where I lived, and I think even Go Chok Tong like visited the restaurant before. But they had a Hokkien mee that was like about 80-90% there.
You will cry.
Not say cry lah, but like you walk in and then you're tapao and then you want people to recognize you're from Singapore. Then you're like, oh, I would like a Hokkien mee, please. You try to talk like so that people recognize that you're Singaporean. They give you something, but never lah.
That's true.
But I saw Go Chok Tong's photo there, everything. I was like, wow, can't wait to tell my American colleagues about this.
Hokkien mee, yeah, Hokkien mee also. But I think for me it'll be chicken rice and prata. And I'm assuming now if you go back, there are probably more stalls like that.
Probably.
I assume because people are also a lot more open to overseas food. People, I assume now in the US, Singapore is a bit more well known.
Thanks to Crazy Rich Asians.
Thanks to to a bunch of other things also, right? What else?
I mean, F1.
I mean, COVID.
Yeah,
COVID. So yeah, like it won't be like, oh, you're from Singapore. How are the Tamil Tigers?
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Idiot. Yeah. But yeah, man.
Cool,
man.
And now on to one of our favorite segments. One Shiok Comment.
Yes.
What is your one Shiok Comment? This one's a fun one.
My one Shiok Comment is not one specific comment, but it's a barrage of comments on our TikTok. So, I mean, we have been trying to put more excerpts out there on TikTok. And past few days, we've been uploading excerpts from our podcast about the whole Iswaran saga.
Yep.
So, there was one where we took an excerpt from Yalabat. I think it was one of the recent ones, where we were just toying with the idea about how, maybe Iswaran going to Doha and dealing with accepting all those things was part of doing business. It's almost taking one for the team so that we can bring F1 to Singapore and, like have all the trickle-down effects on the economy and just like bantering about it in a kind of like just entertaining the idea, right?
Yeah.
But then on TikTok, right, because we only showed that part, on TikTok, wow, the comments are like, I think they really took it at face value as we were trying to justify insurance things. So I'll just read you some highlights.
Sure.
My all-time favorite is Indian justifying Indian crime. That was a great one. Then another one was, are you guys serious? Advocating for and justifying corruption in the name of the greater good? How far have we fallen? These guys are pro PAP mouthpiece justifying corruption jokers. They aren't. They are just people who lack integrity and assume everyone else lacks it too. Ooh. Like, I think they really thought we were just going all out on justifying it. And I know a lot of these comments are quite like hateful, but I'm fucking loving reading it, man.
No, I love it because it's very clear. This is the audience who lives and dies on TikTok.
Yeah.
They don't go to other platforms. They don't listen to the full context of what we talked about on the podcast.
Yeah.
They're just assuming that this clip represents everything about our views about Iswaran. Right. We spend like an hour trying to justify it.
Just talking.
Yeah.
And then another one is like, what are you advocating? What you are advocating are friends with benefits, just like how both of you started this podcast. What the fuck?
Gaslighting puppets, steering the narrative to justify corruption. Shameful.
Oh my god, this is great. And the video continues to rack up the views. So I mean, we're not doing it intentionally. It was just like more like a joke kind of thing, but people taking it seriously, man.
We should just continue posting clips on the TikTok. Don't explain. We don't need to explain anything. We just keep posting and then we'll see what people
all our butt moments. You come to the podcast for the yala, but the TikTok for the butts.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, man. So gonna have more fun with that.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
Mine's also because you alerted me to all this activity on TikTok. I also looked at the video where we talked about Iswaran's $4,700 stay in Doha, the one night stay that we referenced earlier as a presidential suite.
Yeah.
And one of the interesting comments, or at least a couple of them, not just even one, from the name Lobin Hood. Poor people are so easily impressed. Ha 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 ha.
So is it?
Saying, we are poor people, very impressed by $4,700 suite. And I mean, I say this not because the comment is fun or anything, but it really made us, like yesterday I was talking to you, we started to examine, hey, is $4,700, like what will that get you in Doha, right? Qatar. And then we actually went out and started looking up how much a suite in like the Crown Plaza Hotel and all that would cost. And even in Singapore, like how much a villa at Capella or something would cost, right?
Yeah.
And then it led us down quite an interesting rabbit hole. Interesting fact, I found out that, say one of those, the general villas at Capella, those first story where you have a small little private pool that I know about because last time I actually went to stay as a special treat because they allow dogs. And I was very big on dogs, right? So I actually spent one night there. It was about 1,000 a night, which I thought was crazy. Now I look at it, it's $2,300 a night to stay at that place. So the price has more than doubled already since then.
Oh,
so
shit, 2,300 a night.
In that context, I think what people are saying that, poor people are easily impressed is that $4,700 a night for a higher than the average normal suite is actually a small amount already. And I think you also looked up how much in Doha a suite cost, and what was the number?
I think a presidential suite at the Four Seasons costs about 8,700.
So that tells you $4,700 may not even be that much. Like it's not like God tier or anything. Right?
I love how you have put so much like insight and like research into one comment.
Yeah.
When all this guy might be doing, he might be one of those peeing at a urinal using one hand on his phone and just be like, but here is Terrence, dissecting and like looking at the nuances of that comment.
I mean, this segment is called One Shiok Comment. I tell you, we don't lie when we say we read comments and we think about them and things like that. We don't lie. We
were really sitting at the table researching the price of hotels yesterday.
Because it's also interesting for us to sort of assess, were we also like overstating what that amount was? But I still think 4,700 is still a big amount for a person, whether you're median or even 75% percentile of income and all that.
Yeah.
Even if you earn that kind of money, is it wise to spend that kind of money? That's the question, right? Yeah. So I stand by what I said, and I'm glad that even these kind of troll comments make us think about these things.
Yeah. TikTok, man. TikTok is great for that purpose.
Correct.
But yeah, what about your one Shiok thing, man?
I need to pull mine up. Do you have yours already?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
So mine is an article I read that sounds a bit too good to be true. It is basically a company in China has developed a nuclear-powered battery that can last 50 years without recharging.
Yeah.
The battery is smaller than a coin. And can it is created by Beijing-based startup BetaVolt technology. So there's actually like nuclear isotopes inside the coin. I mean inside the battery.
Okay.
And like the semiconductors convert energy into electrical power. So I think like right now it is just a prototype. It's just like 1.5 cm by 1.5 cm. They said it's planning to mass produce this battery by end of the year.
Wow.
And it's insane so there are radioactive elements inside. But unlike like the fusion or fission, which is the general process, right? You split or you fuse atoms. The decay of the isotopes in this is apparently spontaneous. So everything that comes out after that is stable.
I see.
So there's no radioactive. I mean, things remain radioactive when they're still radiating like gamma rays and losing all those electrons and all.
Yeah.
But when it's a stable atom, then there's no more radioactivity. So, it is crazy. Like, I mean, they say they want to mass produce. I don't know how true it is. They said they are currently the only firm capable of doping and manufacturing large-scale semiconductor materials that can do these nuclear batteries. But basically, nuclear batteries. Can you imagine? Next time you change your remote thing, it just goes on. You don't even need to change it. Yeah,
but I'm a bit cautious about these things, because back in the day, like I enjoy camera lenses and stuff like that. There are some old camera lenses from the 70s and all that even today are considered radioactive.
Really? Yeah.
Because they used thorium, which is a radioactive material. They mixed it into the glass that was used in lenses. So those lenses, nowadays, you look through them, they're a bit yellow because radioactive decay. And you hold a Geiger counter up to them, they will actually ta-ta-ta-ta-ta,
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so there's during the 70s, there's a whole wave of like radioactive lenses that you can still get today, you can still buy and everything.
Lenses.
But it kind of tells you that, was there long-term thinking about what, the use of these radioactive elements will do to all these products in the future, right?
Yeah.
So when someone tells me now that it's safe and it's stable, even though
it's
I'm
hard to
gonna be
trust,
like, okay, will you be around in 40 years time to tell me that it's completely safe, right?
Yeah, and I mean, especially coming out of like China. I mean, no disrespect to the country of China, but sometimes you read stuff, you're like, oh, is this really true? Because it's a world's first. So it might not even be fully working.
Correct,
but I guess there's a lot of research going into nuclear technology.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you do fission well, especially fusion well, especially, there's a lot less radioactive materials that come out of it. Fission is the one that has problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. I'm like, oh shit.
Was this on the back of Oppenheimer getting all the buzz?
Oh no. I bookmarked this last week.
Oh, last week.
Before Oppenheimer was announced to have 13 nominations.
I see.
Yeah, is that your one Shiok thing?
No, it's not.
Then what's yours?
My one Shiok thing, also movie related somewhat. Was actually the band that sang Barbie Girl, Aqua.
Yeah.
Yeah, they because of Barbie Girl and everything, they've had a bit of resurgence since. So I think over New Year's Eve and everything, they were performing at like some big venues in the US.
Is it?
And also it was quite cute, right? To see them dancing around, performing Aqua, and they're like older, 40s, maybe 50, I don't know. But still looks quite funky, like funky old band kind of thing. And then there was a red carpet interview where they just sort of asked about their resurgence, and then the lead singer of Aqua, I can't remember her name, she just broke down and cried, just saying how happy she was, to be back performing in America and relevant
really?
again and all. So yeah, it's just a nice little, not only the fact that they had a bit of resurgence, but just that they understand what it means now to not to take that popularity and the fame and whatever for granted, right?
Oh shit! Because a lot of younger people probably would not have heard that song during its heyday.
Yeah. But back then, and Aqua wasn't only known for that song. They were pretty.
What others?
They had a bunch of other songs.
I
mean, Barbie Girl was the big one, but they were very popular as like a mainstream pop group back then, right?
Yeah.
And but then they just faded after some time, right? So it's just nice to see them back, and just like as older and maybe wiser and appreciating what they're enjoying now, Yeah.
Wow, interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, Dr. Jones.
Yes, Dr. Jones and a bunch of others also. It wasn't
Turn Back Time.
Yeah, Turn Back Time. Wow, famous.
Oh man! Shit, that's cool.
So I didn't realize that they had performed all these shows over New Year's Eve, but I will definitely be watching them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for listening, and remember to follow us and wherever you're listening to to us or watching us right now.
On the way to Coldplay, maybe.
On the Coldplay to Coldplay,
yeah.
Pre-gaming,
Pre-gaming.
I don't know who would pre-game to a podcast.
Yeah.
But if you are, just subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Yep.
And if you want to work with us, email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com. Cool. Thanks, everybody.